Okay, welcome back to Dojo Pro Reviews, Episode 5, Joey Janela versus White Belt. We are here with the illustrious, I don't know why they always call people illustrious, the awesome Ryan.
Yeah. Uh,
And Ryan, how you doing today?
uh, Great. Better than Corey
That's good.
Hollis.
He recently, as of this recording, on the last week of July, oh, I don't know if you saw the episode, but I recently saw him on AEW Dark.
I
I
missed him. I did see that he was going to be there, but I didn't watch Doc this
I
week.
and just to show you how much of an impression he has on me, I forgot who his opponent was, and I watched the episode.
Well,
Yeah,
you were just so enthralled with Corey Hollis. How could you even tell that there was someone else in the ring?
Also, he had different gear. I remembered that. No, it wasn't his. Well, his gear was different, but he
Well,
cut
I
his
mean,
hair. Like it's pretty
his
short
gear
now.
is so crazy. It's so unorthodox.
It's so wacky.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe he should replace a certain wacky individual from WWE. Mr. Dean Ambrose. I hear. Anyways, all right. So this episode, as titled, involves Joey Janela. So for people who are not familiar with Joey Janela, I'd be very surprised if you weren't. Well, if you were a pure WWE enthusiast, I wouldn't be so surprised. But Joey Janela has been, as of late, everywhere. He ran Joey Janela's spring break shows. I believe they were usually during WrestleMania weekend. I could be wrong on that. He is a mad booker. Just to give you how mad, to show you how mad this lad is, he had booked for his show during this year's WrestleMania weekend, Minoru Suzuki versus Orange Cassidy. I'm gonna let that sink into the rest of y'all. But yeah, I would have paid
That'd be
good
fun.
money to watch it. I tried to go to WrestleMania weekend this year, but then everything happened. Everything closed, so we were deprived of Minoru Suzuki and Orange Cassidy. Maybe one day. One day.
We
All
can
right.
only hope, right?
Oh God, can you even imagine what that would be like? I mean, he puts on pretty comedic matches with Yano already from New Japan. I'm pretty sure, and he's a frequent Minoru. I say is a frequent guest in DDT Pro, who are renowned for the DDT Ironman heavyweight title, which is 24-hour rules. Just to let you know how comedic this belt is, a table has been champion. A sex doll has been champion multiple times, I believe. And yeah, I a child has been champion as well. I believe that child pinned. Who did that child pin? I think she pinned another, like a professional, like a real professional wrestler. But anyways, all right, let's get started with the promo package for this episode. What did you think of it overall?
I mean, I dug it because it felt like it was the first package we got that wasn't like heel face. You know what I mean? Like by the end, there's definitely a heel in this episode, but like I feel like at the beginning of the video package, like they don't paint either guy as like a dick. Like they both have their reasons for being there, and like I like Joey being annoyed being ranked eighth. I thought was a nice touch.
Oh yeah, that was excellent. Especially if you know what the next episode, who the next person on the ladder is. Brandon
Mm-hmm.
Cutler.
And,
I don't
and
know
so
if
I thought that after we were complaining about that a couple weeks ago, it was nice seeing like, oh, all right, there we go. You know, they acknowledge that him being eighth is weird on this lab.
Yeah, exactly.
And, and
Yeah.
for the first time, I feel like they made a point, and it actually kind of made like sense. Like they're sitting there about him being more known as like a hardcore guy, and this not being that type of tournament. Um, you
Yeah,
know,
I mean,
makes
we
sense.
both know we've witnessed Joey Janela live before. He wrestled against Keith Lee, now of WWE NXT, and it was a good match. It was,
Mm-hmm.
and Joey played the heel as he should. He told a
Told
child
that
that
kid
Santa
Santa
wasn't real,
Claus was real.
and it was beautiful. It was perfect. I loved him. He plays his role perfectly. But yeah, I really liked. There was one thing about this promo package that bugged me in the beginning, and I'm going to read you a quote I took down. I don't know if it's word for word, but I'm trying to get it for word. This is
Got it.
something that Yuta said uh, versus Corey Hollis. Yuta said that Corey Hollis went in looking for a fight, but Yuta went in looking to wrestle.
Mm. I remember
That
him saying that.
that doesn't make any. I am I missing something?
Um, I feel like that's one of those things that someone says that's just kind of like doesn't really mean a whole lot. It's just kind of filler. And but like
Okay.
but I feel like that quote doesn't make sense for that match regardless. Like that makes sense for the Gunnar Miller match. You know what I
Yes.
mean? But Corey with the mind games at the beginning and whatnot, I didn't feel was looking for a fight.
I think he was just trying to f with his head.
Yeah, it's
That's
like
all I think he was doing.
it's definitely a quote that I feel is just one of those things that they're filling airspace and you're just supposed to like, oh, that sounds like he said something. You
Yeah.
know?
Also, the next line after that, or next line or so after that, he said the match was insanity and chaos, referring to the Hollis match. Um,
Sure.
those are two words. Two words, I guess, that one person could choose to describe that match. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just taking these two quotes because I thought they just didn't. They didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was. You're right. It was your like typical. Well, for me, it was the typical Utah's babyface promo. Yep, Joe Janela is portrayed as the crazy man, and he, says many things about his ranking at number 8, such as, is it discrimination, that kind of thing. And Janela does know of it. Janela seems to know of Utah's body of work. I think the quote he used was, "Utah is a pinch hitter. He's a home run hitter." So, sure, great.
Sports ball.
Sports ball. Um, what do you think about Joey Janela? I mean, we both know he can go. Do you think people just focus way too much on like the viral stuff that he puts out on the interwebs?
Probably. I mean, because that's all I knew about him basically, and obviously I've seen him do other things now, and I've been impressed by what he does. So, but like until I don't even know how to properly explain it, but like like he had that match with Kenny Omega that
Mm-hmm.
everyone was geeking out about, and like he's so now I appreciate and I that he can do more than just that hardcore viral like crazy shit, but it's almost like you have to go out of your way to see that other stuff to really appreciate him, because everything, all it is like, oh, jumping off buildings and
Yeah.
crazy.
Uh, yeah, that's true. I mean, the first time I heard about Joey was the pile driver into light tubes off of a building. Uh, that was well. He is insane. He's literally insane. I think he said in an interview he messed up his back for a real long time after that, and I can see that.
No.
Oh man, it was onto a flatbed, like I think it was into a truck, like the back of a truck onto light tubes.
My favorite was listening to him like explain that clip one time, and like he's like, the other guy said, we'll put all those light tubes there because it will like help break our fall on the way down. It's like, sure, guy. Oh no, it was the no, it wasn't the light tubes. It was the barbed wire down there. They're like, because it will be kind of like spongy. It'll kind of absorb your speed
I
going
didn't
down.
I didn't realize there was also barbed. Oh my god.
Yeah. Now he made a point that they use, low grade stuff. He's like, it's not going to feel great, but it's not going to kill you,
Right. Oh my god.
Uh,
Oh
yeah.
jeez. Okay. All right. Well, for those who didn't know, that's who Joey Janela is, usually known as the ending power driver onto freaking light tubes. Okay. So so we get the entrances. Yuta comes out with his belt, his glorious white belts, and then Joey Janela comes out to some generic '80s techie type stuff. I'm really glad he doesn't wear that jacket anymore. I don't think he wears
You
that
weren't
jacket
feeling the
anymore.
scorpion jacket?
No, I if he's gonna wear a jacket, I mean, what he wears to the ring is okay now, but something a little more like a something in the style of one of those. Do you know those wrestling jackets high schoolers get, but made like of a
Oh, yeah.
like made of a
I,
shinier
I am very
material? I would
familiar.
be yeah, I would be feeling that something like not those wrestling jackets, but like the jackets base sports ball baseball players wear like when they're not on the field and they're just hanging out in the dugout or something. Something in that style would probably suit him instead of this. I just felt like his jacket belonged onto a seat cushion just because of the stitching. I just couldn't get that out of my head when I saw him wear it.
Yeah, and it was like a weird color. Like it was like an off-white with like the gold or yellow scorpion or something. I don't know. It was weird.
Is there any significance with the other than like a what scorpion death lock or
I
some?
was,
Does he do a scorpion? No, he doesn't do a scorpion though. Like he do the
no,
figure four in the
I think it
match,
was.
but
I think it was just rad. It was just something super
okay.
cool.
All right, so they have their entrances. Um, I'm gonna hop back to the promo for just 1 minute. You got the impression he was a heel during the promo. I got the
Towards
impression.
the end.
Okay, towards the end.
Okay.
Maybe he was a heel. I got like the impression he was just more like a tweener.
Yeah, when I'm saying that, what I liked about this package was that like he it was definitely a tweener feel, especially by the end where he was saying about like how he feels disrespected and all this stuff. But it definitely was different than all the episodes before this, where it was clearly this is the face and this is the guy you boo.
Gotcha, gotcha,
And,
gotcha. Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
even like during their entrances, Joey definitely got that tweener response where half the crowd was like, "Go home, Joey," and the other half was rooting for him. And then
Right.
I feel like by the end of the episode, I feel like there's another movement and it changes again. But
Mm. Yeah, there definitely felt like there was a switch being flipped. All right. So the match. The match starts up with, and you interrupt me at any point. There, you find there's like significance. There's a couple points for me where I found there was slight
Was it
significance.
was it the Utah man chant?
No, it was actually that kind of weird headstand that Joey
Yeah, that was weird.
did. Okay. All right, so there's the lockup. Okay, so lockup, these are wrist locks. Joey Janela starts working Yuta's knee. Um, Joey rolls out, says, I ain't afraid of no ghost or
Or
Utah.
no booing. No, I think he said no ghosts or no booing. Well, I think that was what he was saying because they were booing him like
Oh,
goats, like boo.
okay.
Yeah, because
Okay, I didn't
I had
connect
that written
that.
down because that was a little bit after the Utah man chant.
Okay, I didn't catch the Utah man chat, but when he said like the goat, I did not connect the booing with the. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I
Because he
was
said that,
like, I
I
was.
legit got a chuckle out of that one. That one I popped.
All right, it's clear that Joey has like some charisma in the ring. He's got some shit going on. All right. The crowd chants that he's afraid after the ghost line. Joey returns into the ring and says, I am not afraid, or I am not. Yuta does some wrist manipulation. Joey. So, this is the first bit that I started, like, really paying attention or, like, piqued my interest. So, Joey puts the figure four on Yuta, and then Yuta reverses it, and then they do this a few times.
Yeah, I had a problem with this spot myself.
I I've never okay. Please explain to me as a longtime wrestling fan if you understand this. So actually I'm gonna look up the with the like just like the figure four in general because
What? And you talk about just all you gotta do is roll over to reverse it
yeah
because
you roll over to reverse it.
it switches the pressure on the knees to the other person.
Oh, there's a wiki how on how to do the figure four leg lock.
But what pissed me off so much about this was that so I felt like Joey locks it in, they're in it,
Mm-hmm.
and and I felt like Yuta didn't really sell it at all. Like he was just now he was kind of lifting Joey's leg at the beginning, so it's like okay, you could say he's keeping the pressure off his knee, so he's not going to sell it. And then he
Okay.
rolls over, and then Joey's in pain, like he's yelling and like biting his hand and whatnot. And then eventually he rolls it back over, and Yuta just kind of sits there.
Now that you mention it, yeah. Wow. I didn't
And
catch
like
that.
that bothered me because like you got Joey every time because like they switched what like literally like 4 or 5 times I
Oh
felt like.
yes, several times at the least.
And every time Joey's freaking out when it's on him, and then Yuta's just kind of like, oh yeah, that hurts. You know, I'm like, come on, dude. Like Joey's biting his hand, he's flailing around. He finally, grabs the rope, and he's like glad to be out of that thing.
Hmm. You know, just short aside about selling. Even though I didn't like her astronomical push, Ronda Rousey did know how to sell. Like, I loved her selling because she's been punched in the goddamn face before. So she knows what pain feels like and how she should act during pain. That is like
Mm-hmm.
the best thing I thought about her. But yeah, looking back on this, you are right about this. I'm just like, oh yeah, Joey oversold, which is fine. It's wrestling. But Yuta,
Yeah,
yeah, he was very unenthusiastic. All
it,
right,
and
so
yeah, it really kind of bothered me. I'm like, damn it, Yuta, like.
we're supposed to like you, and you're not even trying. Okay. Um. Joey gets to the ropes after this leg exchange, and Yuta uh works the leg. Then Joey did a weird. This is the part that kind of like took me out of it, but kind of made me raise an eyebrow. Joey does this weird headstand thingy. Um, why? Is that the most effective way to get out of a lock?
Except I don't remember what he was in when he did it. I remember the
I
spot,
don't.
but I don't remember.
Yeah, I was just like, I was just looking at it. I don't remember either. I think he had his legs or something, and then he was maybe putting him in like a boss half crab or attempting to get him into like a crab of some sort. But I was just looking at that, and I was just like, I don't think
What
that
was
would
the point?
work. Yeah, exactly. Other than for show, which it's wrestling, I get it, but it was
Mm.
so slow. I think it was the speed that bothered me the most. It was so slow. I was just like, if it was for
Kind
a
of
hotter
ruins the
crowd,
illusion.
yeah, if it was for a hotter crowd, maybe this would have worked. But well, we'll get there. Um, so there is a strike exchange, and then Yuta chops a lot, and then there's a chop battle, and then Yuta eventually gets the best of it. There's a leap. He gets to the outside, I think, somehow, and leaps over the rope and gets a 2 count. Yuta does some submission, and then Joey turns it into a face lock, and then Yuta tries to pin, and then Joey goes for the headlock. Yuta body slam, sentons, 2 count, drop kicks. Yuta's getting a lot of offense here. Um, and then there's a bunch of there's the there was a couple good moments in the match where I think it was Joey just or Joey taking it. So several times Yuta slings Joey into the ropes, whether it be like him going face first into the ropes to take like some whiplash from the ropes, or like Joey would be under the ropes and then Yuta would get his like legs under Joey and like leverage him up into the ropes. I've noticed that spot a few
Slingshot.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big old slingshot.
I know this. I counted at least, well, 2 times. There could have been more. At this point, the crowd does not like Joey. They have whatever support he had garnered near the beginning of this match. They are now in severe dislike of Joey. Um, I don't know why.
Well,
I
he's a bad,
don't
bad
think.
boy.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything heelish at this point, did he?
Yeah, um, yeah, because
He wasn't. I mean,
I feel like there
he
was
wasn't
nothing
working the arm.
overtly. Yeah, until the
He
end.
wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't working the arm, and Yuto before then was working the leg.
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't get. Okay, did the director just say, "Hey, now you start chanting for Yuta and boo Joey"? Because
Yeah,
I feel like that was happening.
they definitely needed an extra spot in there where Joey did something like over the top cheating. You know, like without the maybe like holding on to a rope in a submission or like trying to use the rope for leverage or something.
Or
They
like
it would have
even
helped
you
to have
even
something
use
like that in there.
yeah, or even like pulling the tights, like
Yeah,
using the tights to
exactly.
get a pin or something. Okay, all right. So we're okay. Anyways, so yeah, so the crowd doesn't like Joey at this point. I think there's like one of those moments where Joey is like, "Show me what you got," and then Yuta fires back.
And Joey takes like a hell of a bump off that chop too. I think
Oh,
like he gets chopped to the chest and he acts like he got like taken out by a sniper or something.
oh yeah, he just went bam down. He's a stir. I I just think back on Joey and it's just like he is a hysterical seller. Especially when he was fighting Lance Archer. Oh man, he bumped like a madman for that guy. All right.
He's very sports entertained.
Yes. Okay. So Yuta tries to power drive Joey, and Joey gets himself to the ropes somehow. There's Joey clotheslines. Joey gets a count for 2. Yuta drops Joey to the outside. Joey does the suicida and then is caught by Joey. Joey. Yeah. Utah does the suicida. It's caught by Joey. And Joey locks an armbar on the outside. And this is
And I
where
thought that was
the
pretty
arm.
cool. Like I
That
liked
was
that
neat.
little spot there. Yeah.
All right. I wrote in my notes, Joey is now a heel because of this. Because there is lots of arm work.
Mm.
And
I feel like this is a this has to be just like the crowd being coached wrong. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like the match so far is still pretty good. I just don't like the crowd reacting to Joey being a dick when Joey really hasn't been a dick yet.
yeah, the dickish stuff doesn't come until near the end of the at the end of the match, pretty much.
Yeah, like it's the last thing that happens. At that
Yeah.
point, all right, yeah, he's a heel. But until then, like I just don't understand why the crowd's booing.
I have I'll get to my question when we get to that part, that heelish part. So the arm is worked. What did you think of Yuta's selling of the arm this time?
I feel like it got better. You know, like he actually acted like it was bothering him. You know, it felt like it. I would have liked to have seen it like taped up coming into the match.
Did Corey work the arm in the he
Yeah,
did, didn't he?
yeah, because I was remember he pulled it through the turnbuckle and kicked the
You're
turnbuckle.
right.
It was really working. Like that's why when he finally did that dive through the ropes and Joey Janela caught him in the armbar and like now Yuta was hurt. I'm like, okay, like this is the story I wanted. Like that's what I wanted there. I just
And that's why the commentator said he was watching the tape. I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it. It's been so long. I forgot about that Hollis spot.
it's just like I wish there was a little more foreshadowing. Like even though you know it's well, I knew it was coming. I was ready to be pissed for it not to be there though when he came out perfectly fine. You know. So once they
Yeah.
finally hurt the arm, I'm like, thank you, continuity. Let's go. You know.
Oh, yeah. He did need some tape on that because dumb people like me don't remember that kind of crap.
Well, that has
Especially
been
if
a
you
couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you haven't watched the episode in like 2 weeks. Oh jeez. The Right, the skies have opened up now. I am like, I understand. It makes so much sense. Okay. Um. Okay, so Joey is now a heel because he's worked the arm. Joey does a moonsault off the top rope, but no one's home. And
The dreaded moonsault on the arm. You know, like not going for the body at all. He's going to take out that arm.
yeah, one would ask, why don't you just stomp on it? But it's wrestling because your whole
Well, the
body
damage
weight.
multiplier.
Yes, your whole body weight from a certain amount of height is definitely gonna damage our arm more. Okay, Yuta after this gives two really strong forearms, springboard, drop kick, gets a 2 count. Crowd chants, finish. They did a lot of finish him chants. Do you think that directors or producers instructed the crowd to be like, yo, this gotta be like Mortal Kombat, so y'all gotta say finish him a lot?
And I think so because, like, I think that just ties back into just the crowd being poorly coached, like booing before they probably should have been like booing, and in our opinion, and because they're saying finish him, but it's like it's the face with the upper hand, and I just feel like finish him like isn't a very face thing. You know what I mean? Like Yuta's whole story was at the beginning was that he's pissed about Gunnar Miller finishing Kevin Koo. You know, like so now why are we supposed to be cheering for the face to finish this guy?
I don't know. It's like shouting fatality, and it's the face that's ripped the guy's head off or something.
Yeah, like
All
it just
right.
it doesn't add up.
I know. Joey Janela does like a spine buster. I think that's the right term, spine buster on the apron. Of course, we get,
Oh,
you
that
know,
that, that, that valley driver,
yeah.
like where he
Okay,
has
it's a
him up
definite.
against like the fisherman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty
Okay, Death
gnarly.
Valley
That was
Driver.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Of course, we get the. That's where all the steel and stuff is
It's
because,
the hottest spot of the ring.
yeah, because people who are new to watching wrestling, if this is their first show, which most people.
I do need to ask you though, because like I
Okay.
feel like a year or two ago, if that move happens there, someone says just as we said, that's the hottest part of the ring.
Mhm.
But on this episode, he says, that's where steel, blah blah, and then like I feel like it was on Raw a week or two ago. I think it was during the women's match. Something happened there, and someone said about, oh, that's where wood and steel meets. And Samoa Joe corrected him, saying, "Oh, there's no wood there. That's all steel." Like, do you think they're just aware of the joke of it being the hottest spot of the ring now, and that they have to say it
Sam-
without actually saying that is the hottest spot?
Samoa Samoa Joe definitely knows. Like
Okay.
he's very like I would
Samoa
not.
Joe knows.
Yeah, Samoa Joe
He can't
knows.
be a
He
pathetic freak like me.
um yeah, I mean Samoa Joe definitely knows. Like he's pretty internet savvy and I would not if you told me that Samoa Joe goes on like, you know, the squared circle subreddit, it wouldn't surprise
Mm-hmm.
me. Like he seems like somebody who's like, I just want to check out if there are like any cool indie matches happening or any cool clips. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he'd be somebody who would do that just for kicks. But
I mean,
yeah, I
Adam
think
Cole watches Cultaholic.
that. Yes, yes, and you know, I think Keith Lee at some point does because they made a whole goddamn song about him. God damn. Those Brits. Those Brits in their chance. I wish I could be as creative.
That
Okay,
man gave up
so
his North American title.
I know. So whatever. I, this is not about Keith, but he's awesome. All right. So Death Valley Driver, hardest part of the ring. Joey covers for two. Tries to get to the top rope, but Yuta cuts him off. Yuta superplexes Joey from the top rope. That was cool. And then they're
Mm-hmm.
both down, so the ref starts counting. To stop the count, Joey rolls out of the ring, but Yuta then, after Joey comes back, he springboards Joey and then crossbodies Joey. And then this is the first time they've mentioned this move, but the move Yuta applies onto Joey is the pain thriller.
Oh yeah, it was
Why
like
were
that weird, like kind of spinning, like drop type maneuver. You know what I mean? Like it was weird.
Yeah. Why didn't you tell us what this move was called when we first met Yuta?
Well, had he used it in any other matches?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I just felt like it was
But
weird. Like if, hmm.
it did feel weird that they name dropped the move because like at that point like if they made it seem like it's supposed to be like a big deal, like oh this is like a signature move, blah blah, blah, but it was just like okay, it happened and then they just moved on.
Yeah, pretty much. Joey kicks out of it. Uh, Yuta starts selling the arm again. Yuta V-triggers Joey. Then he suplexes him. And then he misses an elbow. Yeah, he tries to get an elbow from the top rope, I think, and then gets caught. And Yuta reverses the submission into a pin. They've done a lot of submission pins in this match. You know, when like Joey's shoulders are flat on the mat a bunch of times when he's trying to submit Yuta. I think that happened at least 3 times in this match. Now that I think about it.
You got to watch out for those defensive pins.
I mean, you don't want to have your, your shoulders to the mat when you're in a figure 4 or something like that. That'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it?
I mean, it's happened.
Yes, it has. All right. So then there is a face lock submission Yuta applies on Joey. Joey goes for a rope break. And then there are several, like, midsection switches. Like, Joey gets Yuta in the midsection and grabs him there, and then he goes around, and now Yuta grabs Joey. And then at one point, during this whole switcheroony, Joey is in front of the referee's face, blocking his field of view when Joey low blows Yuta, super kicks him, gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. Joey Janela is now our new white belt. The only goddamn
and now you deserve
move.
to boo him. Yeah.
And I was just like, at this point, I'm just like, why? There should yeah, you were right. There should have been multiple spots in the match to show that Joey was the definitive heel. The crowd timing was completely off. It was a good match. It's just
I feel like if you take the crowd out of it, it was good. But when you add the crowd, they needed another layer in there to like let you know why the crowd is becoming more and more anti-Joey.
Yeah, it's just So yeah, that's the end. Joey celebrates his belts by hugging it and kissing it on the way to the back, and Yuta is left in the ring, and he gets a rounding applause for his efforts, and
a contract of $205 live.
Oh, that poor boy! If he went to 205 Live, he'd probably be part of. They'd probably put him with Akira Tozawa. Oh.
He's your cyber ninja.
Oh, or they pair him up with Mustafa. No, they would probably take away his gimmick because Mustafa Ali already has it.
True.
You can't have 2 people have the same name. Just like when Piper Nevin from the Mae Young Classic, her original name in the Indies was Viper, but we can't have her be Viper because we already have a Viper.
He's the apex predator.
I was mad about that because I liked the name Viper for her. She was cool. Anyways, all right. So what I liked about the episode, the promo package was cool. I love me some Joey Janela. The match was good. What I didn't like was, the crowd was off. Some of the, it was just kind of off because of those things. Mostly the crowd.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I feel if you take the crowd out of it, the match itself was good. I have that one complaint about Yuta and the figure 4, but I can look past that.
Yeah, I mean, we've watched wrestling matches with much worse. Like, for example, Mark Quinn versus Cody Rhodes for the TNT title. Mark Quinn hurting his leg, but still doing a million flips.
Oh, that adrenaline,
What was that? Adrenaline does not heal, like, your... Anyways.
Maybe he got one of those blood transfusions, like in the Marine, and now he's healed.
Oh, God, that was such a stupid... Oh, my God. I hope like there are more like Marine episodes. Maybe we should just do a review of that too once this
Mm,
Dojo Pro
mm.
stuff is over.
Yeah, but are
Uh
they really gonna do any more after that last one? You know, it was pretty. We gotta go with Shawn Michaels.
I mean, why not? They did John Cena and Randy Orton was in a couple of them, wasn't he? Or he was
I
supposed to
don't
be
know.
in them, but they put no, it was Ted
He had
DiBiase
another
Jr. I think.
series. Yeah, Ted DiBiase Jr. had it, and then I feel like Randy Orton was in another franchise, like maybe like 12 rounds or something like that.
I'm looking it up right now. Randy Orton. I'm gonna look at his filmography. There we go. Yes, he was in. He's been in quite a few movies. Uh, 2011, That's What I Am. 2013, 12 Rounds 2, Reloaded.
Oh,
Yeah, so he's in the sequel apparently. Uh, 2015, The Condemned 2. Uh, 2016, Countdown, himself. 2019, Long Shot. 2019 again, Changeland. Okay, that was a thing.
mm.
Cool.
Apparently John Cena was in 12 rounds 1, and so Randy got the sequel.
I see.
And then Dean Ambrose got the third one.
He did? There was a
Yeah,
third
12 rounds
one?
3, lockdown.
Are Oh my god. I Oh my Do you want to watch that? I don't know
Sure.
anything about these movies. anyways,
Uh.
we're getting off topic. Okay, so yeah, it was a good episode. I can't wait to see. Brandon Cutler's not gonna beat him. There's no way. There's
I
no
hope
way.
not. I hope not because I want to see Joey Janela versus James Storm. Like that's what I want to see. But
And if I'm imagining, I haven't, like, I haven't seen, those episodes, and you haven't either. But I'm hoping James Storm is just like a tweener, like he's just a badass, because
yeah.
that's what James Storm should be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, all right. Okay, so thank you for listening to this review of Dojo Pro Episode 5. We will be back at some point with Dojo Pro Episode 6. And I have a feeling if Brandon Cutler now is anything to go by, I'm just going to feel pity for the man. Alright, guys. Have an awesome day.